All right, welcome back to the Fallon and Real Life Podcast. I'm Tyler.
I'm Fallon.
Yes, you are. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching this, because of course we're on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok because we're hip. Follow us at Fallon IRL and email your comments, questions, concerns, birthday evites, AOL Messenger IM requests to FallonIRLpod@gmail.com. Our three topics today: Power Rangers, skydiving, and weird houses on Zillow.
Okay.
For our first story, this man has the self-proclaimed largest Power Ranger collection in the world. A gift to a 10-year-old boy in 1993 became the seed that grew into the largest collection of Power Rangers memorabilia in the world. Michael Nilsson's collection of 9,364 items includes action figures, weapons, books, DVDs, spans 28 seasons of Power Rangers show and 3 films, Guinness World Records said Tuesday. Is there a bigger waste of money or time than Power Rangers memorabilia? Also, kind of a weird show to have memorabilia for. I didn't know there was such deep-cut Power Ranger fans.
Yeah, no, I
also like his tie. That's like, I mean, does this go down his whole body?
Yeah, this guy is definitely nerd alert. But hey, it's okay. You know, I love that he got behind something and is passionate about it. But sometimes I wonder if that's a sickness. To be honest,
a sickness,
probably. You know,
trying to fill the hole.
You know, when you see people that are hoarders, you know, again, that's kind of a sickness. But for someone to go over, like I like baseball cards. That was always something fun as a kid.
Nerd.
Yeah, I know. Come on. But I personally have never really been into collecting. I like collecting, you know. I like collecting maps. I know that sounds kind of interesting.
Maps?
Yeah. I like to collect old maps. And I've got quite a few of them that are really interesting, old, like mining maps, old access roads that went through, you know, the California foothills into Nevada. Things like that to me, I think that's cool. But collecting, you know, Power Rangers, like that's just a waste of space, in my opinion.
At least he could sell them.
He could, but obviously he doesn't.
Not.
He obviously doesn't.
Yeah.
And maybe he's waiting for something. Like I know people that have collected Star Wars for their whole life.
It's a big one, yeah.
And today they have a room full. I have a neighbor that does. He literally has, you know, Stormtrooper helmets and Darth Vader helmets, and okay, that's cool. Kind of, but your office in your house is full
of it. Yeah, it looks like a Disney or like a yeah.
It just makes me ask,
like, who's this for?
Right, like,
is this for you or is this for you to like show people, like, look at my Power Ranger?
Well, collection? Like growing up, I knew some friends that had like massive Lego collections. Okay,
I like Legos. Legos are cool.
Legos are fun.
More of a Mega Bloks guy.
But when you get to the point where you've got so many Legos that you're not even allowed to play with them. They're just for show.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my hands around that. Like if I get a toy, I want to play with it. I want to enjoy it. But like any kid, there's going to be another toy behind it that you enjoy more. And you know what I mean? It's to collect for as long as this guy did, to get 9,000 plus Power Ranger items. Just again, I just keep going back to he's got something wrong with him or something, because does he make money off of this? Obviously, we talked about that. He doesn't look like he sold anything. But
John, what are you collecting? Or if you had expendable income, what is maybe like a show or a movie or a thing or a weird that you'd like to admit that you would maybe go full bore in and collect if you had the means?
So I mean, I do collect Legos. I just have like this weird tradition where once a year I'll get myself a kit and build it for Christmas and kind of leave it there just as a memory. Mm-hmm. But that's about as far as I go with that.
Yeah.
And then I'm working on becoming a commercial airline pilot, so I do have flight sim. I do add on to that. Sometimes they're expensive, but it's not so much a collection, it's more of an immersion, so I can learn something new.
Got it.
If I'm not learning something from it, like I also collect maps. Like I have maps.
I didn't know about the map thing. I didn't know that was a thing.
Surprise. Yeah. Welcome to the party. But
get out your protractors. We're going somewhere.
Yep.
Got to know how to get somewhere.
I wish guys at work did. That would really help. But yeah, so it's one of those things. It's not so much like hoarding. In my case, it's just having those things that help me immerse myself and learn something new. Because that's the feeling that's relieving to me, is learning something new about something I wasn't even tracking on, as opposed to looking like one of the villains from
Power
Rangers and having what looks like a foreclosed Chuck E. Cheese that you store them in.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like paper plates down here and like little bags with like the Power Ranger stuff on it.
He's always ready to party.
More power to you. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. You're really kind of alienating yourself to have any sort of relationship, whether it be a friend or a romantic relationship, without this being some sort of hurdle, right? Like, even if you're like a completely quote unquote normal person, you find out you have this giant collection, like that's gonna raise a flag or two, just in the normal scheme of things.
I would agree with that.
Right? It's like, I'm sure your neighbor who has like all the Star Wars stuff, like outside of it, you're like, he's totally normal. And then you see he's got a lot of Star Wars stuff. It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Your dad didn't play catch with you when you were a kid? Like,
Yeah,
do you want to go have a catch right now? We can go have one.
Yeah, we can go talk about this.
I will say, it seems like there's like a sliding scale, and like it's hard to get to this point, but it's probably pretty easy to get to the point where you have like certain amount of things, and now you feel like you're left out when you don't have all of them, right?
Well,
when you don't have like everything.
Yeah.
Like I like these dudes' artwork.
Yeah.
I love them. I only have 2 of them, and there is like a little bit of like, oh, I want to get like all of them, but like I'm not gonna get all of them. But there is an element of like, I just want to have them because I like them and they look cool, and I like the aesthetic and like the unity of all the Power Ranger stuff looks the same. All that artwork looks the same.
Well, I look at this from like a medical standpoint. If this guy was
You're so
down,
concerned with this dude's medical history.
I am, because he probably wasn't able to buy them as a kid. Once he was able to,
he was
afford
gifted one
it,
when he was 10.
Yeah, a gift, but he obviously didn't get too many more. I don't know, because now he's obsessed with just buying as many as he can.
Yeah.
Like something was missing. That's my view. Like if I want to collect something, I'd want to collect something that coins are interesting, but there's only certain coins that I think would be worth collecting. If you were able to collect a coin from every country, every region, from different eras, like different times, I think that would be kind of cool. Collecting, like I said, the maps are awesome just because you can see the history and how things have evolved. But collecting, Power Rangers, it just doesn't make sense to me. But hey, the guy seems happy.
Seems like a nice guy. Look at that smile and that maybe a toupee.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Moving on.
Okay, so skydiving is on our next topic. This is a video of skydiving gone wrong in a way that you would not expect.
Okay.
So,
Oh shit.
they fucking hit another plane in the middle of the air.
Oh my gosh. They landed on top of that plane.
Yeah. So, yeah, for people listening, there's people about to get out and skydive, and they just, like, either come down on another plane, and they're, like, outside the plane, and it's really wacky, and then the plane, like, sets on fire. So, seek that video out. Skydiving was already pretty much a no. And also, I didn't think this was that high on the list of things that would go wrong while skydiving. It's like the sky not big enough for you. You gotta, like, you hit me in the middle of the air.
Yeah, of all things, how does that pilot not see the other plane?
Well, it's below him.
But still.
What do you think, John? What went wrong here?
Oh, well, I mean, looking at it, there's multiple aspects of what went wrong. I mean, I would never skydive out of a Cessna 182. And if you look at the pilot in the plane, he's not even looking where he's supposed to. He's not tracking around. He's not applying the first rule, which is fly the plane. He's just watching these guys hang off of the wing strut.
Probably like a routine thing. And he's just...
that also leads up to, is he listening to air traffic control? Did the plane be below them? Because if you look at it, it looks like the plane below them is actually ascending. So did the guy like not listen in when he said that? Because it's very obvious to see that coming up. Like, this is not Jaws, gentlemen. It's not just coming up underneath, like from underneath you. It's a whole ass white airplane against a green background. Lovely day to skydive. Apparently a crappy day for that crew to learn how to fly a plane. You know, that's just my take.
So I'm thinking there might be a business model out of this. Hear me out.
Sell it to me.
Escape rooms are popular.
Okay.
This is the ultimate survival experience. Not only are you skydiving, but you're getting fucking hit in the middle of the air, and you get to skydive from there.
That's dark.
That is beyond panic.
Hold on. That is dark, sadistic, and I'm in. So
And I'm totally in.
I'm totally in.
Fallon, what do you think of this?
Well, one, I've never jumped out of a plane. I don't think I ever.
Well, you don't have to jump. You just fall.
Yeah.
You just get smacked and you have to fall out. I just, like, all jokes aside, I really hope they all had parachutes on. Like, I know that they all would, but you never know, right? Maybe the pilot doesn't. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, like.
But this does not seem like a good situation at all for the people without parachutes. Even the people with parachutes. I mean, they just smack right into this plane.
Well,
What? Yeah, the likelihood of two planes colliding in the air are one thing. This guy landed on top of a plane.
well, I mean, statistically, most mid-air collisions actually occurred pretty much that exact same way, is an ascending aircraft and descending aircraft hitting each other. But that's why you see things like general aviation. What you're seeing here is getting safer these days, where you even have planes now where, oh no, I've made a mistake, drop something on the ceiling really quick. So like the Cirrus SR-20, like 22, right? They have a parachute for the plane. So if you lose your engine or starts falling out of the sky, you're like, oh no, I've lost control. Now I'm in a gigantic parachuting capsule. Feeling like Neil Armstrong coming back from the moon. I mean,
Well, in this case, they definitely don't have a parachute for that plane. It's doing a nosedive.
no, the pilot's not wearing a parachute, and I don't know if he recovered that one, because if you look at it when they leave, his wing is kind of like not there.
Off.
It's off.
There's also a fire that occurred.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, aviation fuel will do that.
What is it like jumping out of an airplane, John?
For like the 2 times I've done it, it was in, it was a GA setting. It was down in Southern California. And you hear the engine, you start to fall away from it, you hear the noise change, the temperature changes, and you just kind of realize, like, the first time there was like the initial panic, and it's just this weird serenity to the situation. Of you falling through the air, I mean, of course, you have a dude who's highly trained attached to you, but it's just this free fall where you're just outside that realm where your eye perceives, like, oh no, I'm really high up in the air. It's like when you fly on like a commercial airline plane. You're so high up that it goes from like, oh no, I'm high above the ground, to like, this is just a nice image. Just because your eye can't perceive at that depth, because I mean, some people can, but I don't have a sniper rifle.
So you're thousands of feet in the air. Yeah. You're falling at.
But I'm sure, does it feel like you're falling, or does it feel like you're floating?
It feels almost, it's like this weird in between. At least in my case, but that was just weather that day.
So obviously, you're going fast. The wind is blowing.
I mean, you're going faster than you walk by far or run.
Is it loud?
I wasn't really like focusing so much on the hearing part. It was more just.
But is
the
it
scenery.
loud because your body is pressing through that open air, or is it loud because it's just like I've always wondered, because people say it's so peaceful when you're floating in the air because it's so quiet. When you're falling out of the sky, I just don't see any peace in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I might slightly be like the bad judge of character for like what it sounds like, because I've just been around loud noises for so long that I've kind of just naturally toned it out.
Okay.
Call it like selective hearing.
So are you jumping out of the back end of the plane? Yeah. Okay, so you're, and what is that? Your commanding officer gives you orders and says go?
So I have not jumped out of a military aircraft. I've jumped out of civilian aircraft.
Okay, so that's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, no. I haven't had the whole like tether wire thing. It was out of the back of a slightly bigger GA airplane where the door to jump out is like an actual, it's like a garage door that you fold up really quick, and it's further back by the tail of the plane.
Yeah, I would never jump out of a plane. How about you, Ty?
I don't want to rule it out. You never know, but I'm cool on the ground. But it is appealing, like you said, this kind of element of like peacefulness. Like I could see how I could get there right after the initial like, oh my god, I'm falling. But you're right, you're so high up, you have like no reference for how fast you're going or how small that is. Especially if you have a guy attached to you who's trained, it's like you can sort of check out and just enjoy what you're seeing.
Just imagine how heavy my guy would be. Me.
They'd have like
a parachute. We'd have to have 2 parachutes.
Well, I mean, they're about to build a nuclear-powered flying ship, so like whatever, right? Trust me, you'll get up there somehow.
What's your adrenaline of choice? Your adrenaline activity of choice, if you can think of one. Like, were you like jumping off rocks into the lake as a kid, or into the river, or anything like that?
I
or
honestly,
going
like,
fast, or
going fast. Obviously, bikes, motorcycles, boats. I used to love that. Skiing. I used to get a real great rush.
Yeah, I like going fast on snowboarding.
Yeah,
that's cool.
There's just something about being at the top of a mountain and then figuring out how you're going to get back down. You know, you get an adrenaline rush when you take the non-official. You know how there's always runs. Mm-hmm. I'd always like
cut off the powder.
Yeah. Let's go make our own runs.
Rebels.
Yes, that's an adrenaline for me. Yeah, I would say that's probably the top is when you're at the top of a mountain. That's serious adrenaline rush.
John?
So my biggest adrenaline rush is speed's obviously one, right?
Yeah.
My biggest thing is like mountain biking in really dangerous terrain where I should not be biking in the first place.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's as of late, that's the only thing that's really been bringing up my adrenaline. To be honest with you, it's just I've obviously been through some things where I've had some rushes, but
as far as like a controlled, where you're you can control what you're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my controlled push. Yes.
How about you, Ty?
I don't like heights.
Me neither.
But like I could probably bring myself to jump off of a rock into a river or something. Like that would be like a big step for me. Would be jumping off of like a high rock into a body of water.
Oh,
but I've never like really done it. Like I've done like a little bit, but not anything crazy. Going fast is cool. I think what you said, like snowboarding and stuff, like when it's just you and there's not like a second party device that's making you go fast. Like obviously you're on the snowboard and the skis, but it's your body weight and gravity and how steep the hill is. And there's something very same with like mountain biking, where like if I fuck up, it's on me, and there's like a element of ownership that elevates it even more, where it's like if I fuck up, no one's even around. Like, am I gonna yell at myself? Probably, but like you can't blame somebody else, or it's not somebody's fault, it's your fault.
Well, I've done mountain bikes down a mountain.
Yeah.
And I've skied down many mountains. And I would rather ski down a mountain than ride a mountain bike any day.
I'm with you.
Because I will tell you, when I was on a mountain bike, that desire to go even faster, I wasn't getting it.
Yeah.
I was being more cautious than I would have ever been on skis. And again, falling sucks in the snow, but it's nothing like falling when you're on a mountain bike.
Yeah, like hitting a tree or, catching your manhood off of a seat. Mm-hmm. Everyone, public service announcement, on a mountain bike, get a padded seat. Don't be like me.
What's intense is when I used to love certain runs where I knew you could just catch some serious air, and on the right days, the powder was just right, where it really didn't matter whether you landed it or not. 9 times out of 10, you never did really land. You just dumped into the powder. Something about that. Like you said, you can push it a little farther when you're going down the mountain. You can slow down if you want to, but there's times when you just don't want to. There was a time when I was in Sun Valley, Idaho. There was a run, it was called Seattle Ridge at the time, where it took, I'd say, upwards of about 45 minutes from top to bottom. And we would literally race from the top to the bottom. And by the time you get down, your legs are just spaghetti. Your legs are burning so hard, so bad from trying to race down the mountain. But that was adrenaline as well.
All right, last thing. We're gonna watch a TikTok of this. It's actually a house in Placer County that has all these really weird, creepy rooms, and it's really big. So here we go. Let's jump in here.
Okay. Anytime there's a door with a big lock like that kind of makes me question what was going on here.
Take a tour with me. When you go inside, there's a spacious living room, a bathroom off the kitchen, an enormous pantry, and tons of storage in this kitchen. I feel like you could feed dozens, if not hundreds of people in here. Although I've never seen a cooktop built into the marble.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Cooktop.
There's one bedroom.
And I love how they're using a camera angle that makes everything look so much damn bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, they got like the wide angle on like 10.
Exactly.
Stairs with a large closet. And here's where it starts getting a little weird. I guess you could call this a library with lots of built-ins. Another one of these green ladders to help you reach. And then even more storage up here. This whole side has locked cabinets. Okay, now we're reaching...
Come on, there's a bar on this door.
The listing says this is a 2,000 square foot space that the owners call affectionately the room. What on earth is this for?
What is that?
Well,
if you came across this room in a house, I'm out. That's some Warren Jeffs stuff.
funny story. It was a very old lady that owned this house specifically.
This one?
This house.
You know about this house?
I know about this house.
Oh, look at you.
So this was an elderly woman who was a collector. And
this all ties in.
All of her goods that she collected, it took, I want to say, close to a year to clear out this house because of all the belongings that this lady stored. I've never seen the house. This is the first time seeing it.
Look at this like weird. It's got a ballet room.
A ballet room?
Yeah, look at this. This is like a ballet thing with like the mirror. You can't really see.
I still don't understand.
What the hell is this?
So
Santa closets. Some
lots
kind
of
of office
closets.
space. There is one bedroom up here.
Oh,
with,
good. There's a
again,
bedroom.
I know.
tons
All
of
we've seen is storage and
Down the hall,
ballet.
there's even more closet space. No one seems to be able to figure out why.
Go ahead. So elderly woman had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but now seeing the property, who would buy that? Honestly, I would hate to be the agent on that just because your target market, I mean, they're going to look at that house and feel uncomfortable walking through it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's weird. It's eerie.
And, you know, there's some creepy houses out there that, you know, obviously things happen at homes. You got to disclose that. But just in general, there's houses that just have this feeling. You know, when you walk into a house and it just doesn't have a good feeling. Mm-hmm. I would never feel safe in that house if I lived there.
It gives me goosebumps when they go into that big ass room.
Yeah,
and it's like 20 feet wide and like 20 yards probably long, 10 yards long.
2,000 square feet of storage.
Yeah, weird.
That's. I mean, it would have been nice if someone would have taken photos of that when it was like fully occupied.
Yeah.
Just to get an idea, like, what did this lady collect? What was really in all of these spots? Or maybe she was a hoarder.
And her husband,
and her husband was like, "Hell no, we're gonna build, you know, extra space because 2,000 square feet. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And it's skinny and it's a hallway. You know what I mean? That's intense.
What are some weirder houses that you've been in that you can remember that come to mind?
Oh man, one time when I was in St. Louis, I'll never forget it. It was a very old brick house, and when I got to the appointment to meet with this person to talk about their mortgage, he insisted we go downstairs to his basement, and he was already kind of like just interesting. This is the only way of putting it. You know, had like medieval weaponry in the living room.
Cool. Sick.
No, not really.
Was it Power Ranger medieval weaponry?
No, yeah, he and the Power Ranger guy are probably friends.
They got a duplex together.
Yeah, no, they are definitely friends. But, you know, you get that gut feeling where you're like, no, I don't really need to go into your murder basement.
You go to your John Wayne Gacy cosplay basement.
Yeah, no.
There's all this plastic stuff on the floor.
Yeah. Why are you wearing gloves?
Yeah. You schedule an appointment, you invite me into your home, and...
Why is it 12 p.m.?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that was a very interesting home just in regards to how it made me feel. I've seen weird things in homes, just where someone, you know, built a room in a room. I just actually had a tenant move out of one of our properties that, you know, we were really upset because he went ahead and changed all the locks on the house when he moved in, and they were digital, okay? But this guy put digital locks on the bathrooms.
What?
Yes. From the out, like, why would you lock your bathroom from the outside?
No way.
Yeah, so really
No
creepy.
way.
Really
That's
creepy.
a no, dude.
Yeah. And
From the outside.
From the outside.
God. Yeah.
And you know, again, so that was kind of very odd, very expensive too. But you know, there's the thing about houses. Like, have you ever been to Winchester Mansion?
No, haven't done that.
I recommend it because here's a situation where you've got this old home, San Jose, the old Winchester. You know, there's a really good story behind it and how she felt like all those people that were killed with the Winchester guns were haunting her.
Got it.
So she was constantly building rooms and other rooms and staircases that go nowhere to, you know, basically lose these demons, so to speak. That would be a house that obviously I would put in that category of the weirdest house I've ever been in would be the Winchester Mansion.
But as far as like real actual real life houses, I'd say the changing the locks to digital locks and putting them on the bathroom is pretty weird.
Yeah, going in there and, you know, the guy was really odd. You know, I can't put it any other way. He claimed he was a vet, you know, veterinarian. But he had a massive freezer that he bought for in the garage.
You should sell this to Netflix, first of all.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like, and you know, I'll never forget the day he told me we were going to do an inspection. He's like, I'm not around. I'm in Africa. And then like a week later, he's calling me. I said, I thought you were in Africa. Oh, it didn't work out. I'm like, okay, so we really need to come in.
This
and
guy
inspect
sounds
now.
cool. Do you have his number? Could we get him on?
Oh no, we would never want him on.
He'd be pissed. He'd be like, there's no electronic doors.
Oh no, the guy swore up and down that people had broken into the house, and I was like, well, did you call the police? No, I don't want them here. I'm like, okay, well,
Oh my God.
yeah, you know, all red flags.
Checking all the boxes.
Yeah. Anyhow, like I said, weird properties are out there. You see them, especially when you go up into some of like the foothill properties like this, where, you know, one, they don't want to be around people. That's why they live way out in nowhere land.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some odd habits or hobbies. In this case, this lady had some hobbies.
It's just not meth.
What?
Yeah, maybe
Wait,
she collected meth.
No, it could be meth.
You're like, no, it's definitely meth.
Yeah, I don't know. She definitely had a problem, but yeah, that to see that house is on the market for $1 million though, that just cracks me up.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna sit for a long time.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, what's your pitch if you are assigned to sell this house? What's your pitch? Your Goldilocks scenario.
My Goldilocks. How would I pitch this house?
Hey, are you never gonna be here and you have a lot of money and want to store a bunch of books?
Are you an art collector? Do you own a?
Maybe they're trying to open up a escape room.
Yeah, no. I honestly to pitch this house, you would really have to find someone that is unique, or again, a collector. Maybe that someone that owns a pawn shop.
Oh, sweet.
You know,
Like a luxury pawn shop.
yeah, someone that is collecting items where they don't want to sell them in the store, but they're priceless. You know, when you watch like Pawn Shop, the guys in Vegas,
Yeah.
they get some very interesting things. You know, some of that stuff I wouldn't store at my store. I'd put it in a safe place like my house. So maybe that would be my target. I would find someone that owns or is a major collector.
So, question for you though.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when people ask you about the anti-SWAT team bar across the door in the house?
It's for show. It's my show door.
Yeah, surprise!
No
you open it up and it's like a portrait of yourself, like like dressed up like Louis the 14th.
Well, the agent on this is already, no offense to her, but is already, you know, I would have someone else come in and video this property again. And maybe stage it.
Yeah,
do
I was
something.
gonna say staging it might even be weirder.
It could be, but it's. I mean, when weird is weird, you can't really make it not weird unless you can bring that, man, that type of a buyer in that's going to see, oh yeah, all of my belongings are going to fit perfectly here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that.
You know how many red flags I would throw up if the person's like, wow, all of my stuff will fit perfectly here. I'm like, you know how expensive gas is? Can you imagine how many trucks that would take to fill that?
Well, imagine trying to sell that house in Sacramento where the lady was renting rooms, and obviously those guys never moved out.
Oh, Dorothea Puente. All right. Are we done here?
We're done.
Fallon, look into this camera. Tell the people, if you could extinct one bug off of this earth, what bug would it be?
A mosquito.
Good answer. We'll see you next week.